Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Ministry Designs. In this video, we will be discussing how to use the Sermon Notes widget on your website. So we have a page set up already here, and the Sermon Notes widget is to show you an end result of what it looks like real quick. In this specific design, we have it set up in a pop-up. So if someone clicks a button on the page, for instance, if I view the site right here and come down to our sermon section that we have near the bottom, you'll see that we have right here, I can hit Sermon Notes on this button, which will pull up this pop-up. And here is a good example of your sermon notes. You have your sermon series, a title, summary, some key scriptures and information, some points of emphasis, and some notes that people can put in. And when the sermon is over and they would like to submit these notes, they can put their own email address in here and then hit submit, and then that will send these notes to their own email address for them to have to keep. So very cool. So let's break it down into how these sermon notes actually work. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to build the sermon notes into the page, not into a pop-up for this example. So let's go on the page, and we'll see that we have our example of a sermon here, and then we have some information. So if I wanted to put the notes beneath this right on the page, I can simply click into the page. It's in your widgets menu, so we want to go to our widgets menu and scroll down the page of the widgets menu to the very bottom. At the bottom right of the widgets menu, when it's installed onto your builder, you'll see sermon notes here. If you don't have the sermon notes installed onto your builder for some reason, let us know and we'll get that installed on there. It is a third party, not a third party, but an additional plugin that we add on once you request it. It should come with all new sites though. So click and drag the Sermon Notes widget onto the page, just like any other widget. We'll drop it right there. There's a thin green line letting me know I'm dropping it under the text. When I release the mouse, this is what appears. So now if you ever used the advanced contact form before that we have as well, you'll recognize a lot of consistency and a lot of similarities between these two widgets. So the Sermon Notes, you click on it. On the right-hand side, you see your content menu with all of your settings. And this is where you can, first of all, adjust the subject line of the email that is sent. So when someone filled out the notes, puts their email in and sends it to themselves, you can adjust the subject that they'll receive so they can know, oh, these are my sermon notes. So we could put church sermon notes or whatever you wanted to put there, the name of your church, or just sermon notes, whatever you'd like. And then you have some just generic email texts and things like that that you don't have to worry about. And then you have action after form submission. So if you want somebody to send these to themselves, and then nothing happened, it'll just keep the form filled out or the notes filled out. And sometimes that can be confusing and people feel the need to send it multiple times. So I would probably set this to have it to reset the form there. And what that'll do is when someone submits it, it'll do a blank and then they'll know, okay, that just submitted. But you can also have this take you to a page, a pop-up, a URL, other things. If you wanted to have like a pop-up that says, hey, thank you for using the sermon notes. You know, you can have it open a pop-up when someone submits. But right now we'll just leave it to none and we'll reset the form. And then you have some spacing, of course. I add a little bit of space at the bottom. So if we want to actually get down to the process of editing our sermon notes, what we can do is we can hit this edit icon up at the top, the big orange button. When the notes are selected, we'll click edit here. And then now you see we can begin to actually edit. And what this is on the left-hand side in our widgets menu for the sermon notes, we have all the widgets that we can actually add in to the widget or to the sermon note itself. So down here we have form elements, and here is where we are going to be able to actually build out our content. So what we have first is you see this widget called Deliver Text. Now this is a new widget that we created specifically for the sermon notes, and Deliver Text, simply put, is going to be any text that the person watching the video and taking notes types in that will be sent to themselves. So Deliver Text, if we put it onto the page here, this is what will actually send in the form for people to see. So these form elements, the form elements are where people actually type in. So if you wanted to put an input, which we'll do in a second, that will show you actually where you can type in your notes and your answers to questions for the sermon notes. But Deliver Text is text that will actually be sent in the form. If you use a text box widget and toss a text box or like a label in there, what that will do is it'll show up on the sermon notes, but it will not show in the email submission when they send it to themselves. So anytime you want to add text, make sure you use the Deliver Text. So we can drag a Deliver Text in here, and I can go up to the right under Properties and Edit Content, and then I can use my text styles any other way that I want to, like I'm editing a regular page. So let's do maybe like I don't know, heading medium, and we could say, you know, sermon series title, and then let's do a different text style, maybe heading small or heading extra small, and we'll do pastor and date. And now in your situation, you know, we use real dates and real names, but here we have this there. And then below that, maybe I can start typing out whatever notes that you want people to view, because the idea is you want to make sure you use the deliver text so that people can see the notes that you wrote for them to fill in the blank on. So if we wanted to put like medium text, and we can type in whatever stuff you want. I'm just going to use some filler text for now, but you could put scriptures here. You could put outlines of your notes here. You can put points of emphasis if you wanted to put, like, I don't know, let's do maybe a bulleted list. Boom, 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 like this. Maybe some points of emphasis that we want to keep. And then we can apply that. And you see now what that does, that puts that right on the sermon notes for us. And then from here, what I want to do is, if you wanted to add like maybe an input, is if you wanted to ask a question, say, what do you think about this? Or what does this scripture say about that? What you can do is you can use a text area here to drag in. And what this is this gives the viewer the opportunity to type text in and type in their notes. And so I can go on the right-hand side in my properties, and in the placeholder, I can type in let's change my capitals, type notes here, like so. And then where it says name, you want the name to be representative of what you're asking here, what they're going to be typing in, because when the form is submitted, this name will actually display in the email. So I want this to be, let's this part do notes 1. We'll do notes 1. And you will notice you cannot use spacing here. You can't use a space bar. You have to use an underscore in order to space things out. So notes 1, that'll show, and then all the notes will show here. And then again, same thing again. We'll do some more deliver text there. And I'm going to edit this, and I'll say blah, 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 whatever I wanted to put here for some more notes, right? We're just typing away with our notes. Fill this out a little bit more, like so. And then we'll just throw a bulleted list in there, boom. And this time we'll even throw in like a question. There we go, and apply. And then, we have to assign it to a text style though, so let's make sure we're keeping that consistent. Let's assign it to medium text. There we go. And then similar thing, we'll grab another text area. Usually that's a good one for the notes. And maybe we want to even have, I'll do type notes here. We'll do, change the name, we'll do this one notes _2. You could put the question you ask, you could do anything you want there. I'm just going to do that for now. Also, if you wanted to do like maybe like a multiple choice, you can use radio buttons. If I drag a radio button in here, you see that gives me different options, and I can again edit on the right. So maybe I'll change the name to the question. So I say, what? Let's see, we'll do what scripture is John 3:16, for instance, right there, right? We'll hit apply. And now we have some answers, so we can go ahead and edit these answers or add more if you want to. And I could say, you know, for God so loved the world, right? There's that one. We'll do for God so loved the squirrel. I don't know that. Isn't necessarily the correct one. And add one more time, and then we'll just do another one. Thou shall not use beyond green text on your website. There we go. There's a third one right there. And so now what we have is we have the choice, and we can actually do vertical or horizontal if you want to there. Just other ways to test, so that if there's a question proposed, you can answer the question and that stuff there. So that's essentially, play with the rest of these widgets, find out what they do. They're very similar to the advanced contact form, but now what I can do is apply this, right? And now you see I have a whole sermon note section here. And then if we view the page, if we save this, right? We view the page and we scroll on down the page here to our sermon section that you have. We'll see that we have a whole set of notes that we can fill out. So I can watch the sermon. At the same time, I can take notes, type it in whenever I want to, type in this stuff here. Maybe I want to answer the question properly. And then what I can do is type in the email address that I want and then submit it, and then I'll send it to myself. One other thing as well, With the email address, you can also adjust the label here. So if we click on this again, we edit, last thing we'll do, where it says label right here, you can actually adjust that as well. If we're in here editing, you can, excuse me, actually, let's apply that. Right here, email label, it says email label. You can change that to email address below or something like that. So now people can see that it says email address below where they can type in their email, and you can even, in the placeholder, say type email here. Something like that, right? So now we've saved it. So now you see that we have a full sermon notes widget that we have built out together here. And you can use this however you like. You can put it inside of pop-ups. All the same rules apply. You can put it on a page. You can do it on your live streams. For people that'll do live streams and follow along if they want. It's really cool. It's a very cool feature that you can use on your site. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let us know. Thanks.